Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of Intuitive Creators Spotlight. I am Stella, your host, and I'm here to share with you the stories of amazing intuitive creators, stories who are inspiring for the world, and I'm super, super grateful to be here with them. Today, we have Julie Brown. She is a business growth coach, and Julie's story is absolutely incredible. She transformed from being a people pleaser to now being the light for so many women to empower them to embrace their path. Welcome, Julie. So happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so pleased to be here and so excited.
I'm very excited too. And I know that, Julie, you now help so many people. You help them from a place of love, from your heart. And that is because you have been through your own challenges and your own situations in life. So could you please share with us a moment, maybe your earliest memory that made you feel unworthy, and how did that shape your journey as maybe a child, teenager, an adult after that?
One that's just come into my mind was being 3, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old and being told it was my fault my parents got married because my mum was pregnant with me. And I was born with a facial cleft, so I was born with a facial disfigurement. So obviously I wasn't the perfect, beautiful little child that she expected as well. And the main thing I used to hear from her was, "Shut up, nobody's interested in what you've got to say."
Oh,
Um, so I think that's in those few words probably give a pretty clear picture of some of the difficulties and how I grew up and what I thought about myself. Like if your own mother doesn't love you or even like you, like why would anybody else? If your own mother doesn't want to hear what you've got to say, why would anybody else? If um people are embarrassed to be around you and go out with you looking the way you do, why would you show up?
mm,
Right.
wow. So this must have created a lot of beliefs for you. What kind of beliefs did you identify as a result of these kind of experiences?
Um, I wouldn't have my photograph taken. There was a time I would never be on a video. I used to always keep my hair long and covering my face when people didn't want to see me. I always still had a smile on my face. It was like, I remember that a lot of the time. I think that used to infuriate me more than anything else. So there was always that innate spark inside me still, even though it was tried to be down. And as I grew and as I went through like school and through life, I was constantly it was constantly reinforced that what I said wasn't important. Nobody was interested in what I had to say. Shut up were the words I heard more than ever. So I got to the stage where like there was no real point in speaking out. What was the point? Nobody was interested in what I had to say. Nobody would be didn't have anything of value to say. So I grew up and had that for a long time. And that I think that fed into the people pleasers because to keep her happy, right? Did what I was told to fit in with places. You were people pleasing, like I was looking as I did. I didn't have my operations and my first one till I was 18. So I had to go and get it done myself because she wasn't going to do that when I was young. So I did it myself as an adult. So there was a lot of that just keep quiet, just stay small, just say what people want you to say. Just like be the person that will help everybody. Be the person that's always smiling and people are happy to be around. Like because you've never got a bad word to say about anybody, or your opinions, your values, your needs, your wants don't matter.
Hmm.
Just put everybody else first.
When did you decide that enough is enough and I'm going to change these beliefs and I'm going to shape my own life and path?
Got into a pretty bad relationship. It was as an escape when I was moved away from home when I was 15. When I was 16, I got into a relationship that really wasn't good. And I left that at 21. And even I got into another relationship that was much better, but still was far from great. And a lot of that was due to like my hang-ups, a lot of that was due to their hang-ups, and we got through a lot of things, but actually taking a stand for myself and saying, to heck with all of this, like I am worthy, probably wasn't until I was about 40 years old, like 35 moving up and onwards, where I really started to like put in the work on myself and start to just go, right, you like me or you don't, like that's it. I I I worked with people, and um I went through a lot of those like, I've had a lifetime of beliefs, right? I was really good at people pleasing. I was really good at like saying what people wanted me to say. I'm really good at reading people, because obviously I had to always read situations and what was going to happen. Um, so for me to start finding my own voice was a journey in itself. I talk really fast. Got an accent, right? That was my latest next incarnation of why I shouldn't speak up. It's because nobody understands what I'm saying because I talk too fast. And now that's something that I just use as a bit of a like, come and join me. Don't put us on two speed, because you've got no chance of finding out what I say. So we can have a lifetime of beliefs about ourselves, but we don't have to continue them for the next lifetime. As we go through, we can change them, and I'm living proof of that.
I love that. And of course, with this kind of decision, there are a lot of things that are shifting, that are changing. There is also a lot of determination and growth and investing in a lot of experiences for you to just progress on your journey. And with that, of course, some relationships around you can change, be with your friends, family, clients, just people around you. Did you notice any changes as you were stepping more in your power, reframing these beliefs? Did you notice shifts in your relationships with people?
Absolutely, absolutely. I left a long-term relationship. I've not had any contact with my mum for a lot of years since then. And I jokingly talked about this, like, I'm going through a midlife crisis. I was like, I'm just going a bit crazy, and that was my way of getting through that. And I basically like I left a lot of things behind. They say when like an addict, I'm not calling myself an addict, but they say when an addict wants to completely change their life, they have to leave their old life behind. And it felt very much like that's what I did. I met new people, I did new things, I got into a new relationship, and things changed bit by bit by bit through doing that. And
And and
worth
as you were doing this and embracing your own path, at some point you decided to help more people, specifically women. What exactly inspired you to help women?
didn't want them to have to wait 35, 40 years before they started living their life.
Yeah, of course, because that's like, okay, you may think, okay, it took me so many years, so why? And like maybe other people can go through a journey with guidance, okay, because you've had so much experience where it will not take them so many years. So I know that your message and your presence is very much about creating that space to empower those women to be who they are, to show up in the world as who they are. Why is this so important to you?
Because every single person in this world is good enough as they are. No matter what they've been taught, no matter what they think, no matter what life experiences they've got, no matter where they come from, no matter what anything, they are enough as they are.
Mm,
We get to choose if we want to change different things about ourselves, but we never need to change anything about ourselves. And we met when I created the Women Who Matter. the summits, and we did a lot of that. And that was because I lost a very good friend of mine that we've been friends with for 40 years. And she also grew up from with the belief of, oh, I'm okay. Like, but she had a lot of struggles, and it was, I don't matter. Like, as long as everybody else is okay, I don't matter. And I resonated with that, right? Because I lived that life as well. And then it just seemed to be like I saw so many other women who were, they were at the end of the queue, they were at the back, they weren't even in the queue, right? They didn't even think they could join the queue sometimes because everybody else wanted a part of them. And yet, if we're not serving ourselves, we can't serve anybody else,
So
right?
true. Mm.
If when if I, if I've got this cup here, it's a cat cup. If I've got this cup here, and I just think, Stella, yes, of course you can have a drink. Yes, yeah, of course you can. And I keep giving everybody else drinks, but before I know it, the cup's empty. What am I going to drink when I'm thirsty?
Mm.
Right? We've got to fill it back up. We can share, but we have to be filling it back up for ourselves. And
Mm.
I've seen too many women in business, in their personal life, just play small or no play at all because they don't think they should or they don't think they can.
Mm.
I'm telling you, if you can come from where I was and do what I'm doing now, anybody can do it.
Absolutely. If you can see it, you can create it or co-create it with the universe, and with everybody and everything around, of course. But it's such a beautiful thing. And yes, I remember when you did that big, beautiful summit, Women Who Matter, because there was such a powerful energy to it. And I remember when you were saying that you decided to do it in memory of your friend, or because your friend, you are so connected with your friend. That's so beautiful. And as you decided to create that space for those beautiful women, what kind of shifts and experience do you feel like you've had? Like, what shifted in you as you said, okay, in memory of my friend, I'm going to create this summit. And then as the summit finished, how did you feel afterwards?
Oh, it was electric. It was an abs. I mean, there's actually been like 3 summits. There's currently 105 free master classes in the Women Who Matter group that are there for any woman who wants to go and watch them. Um, and the energy was electric. All of the coaches came together and shared their expertise and their stories and their magic and their struggles to show that we are all the same, right? Every one of us has struggles and every one of us overcomes things at different times. And the power in everybody coming together to share that. I was exhausted and I was filled up at the same time. And what really the lessons that I took away from that was when we put our mind to something, we can create really special things when we come from the right intention, the right reasons.
Mhm.
We are master, every one of us is a master creator. And I thought for 35, 40 years I wasn't creative, right? And every one of us is master creators. We're creating every moment of our life. And we don't realize that if we're not liking what we're creating, we can create something else. And that's what that summit really brought home for me and so many others. So many women went and worked with just some of the different people who were sharing the magic. Some come and work with me, some come and connected with each other. And there was a real sense of camaraderie, and it was magical. It really was magical. And it just showed that we're all the same.
Mm. Yeah, and those moments stay with you as a creator for that space or co-creator, and then for those who participated as well. If you were to just think about your journey on this path of coaching and guiding people, can you share with us one or two stories from people who worked with you and they've achieved something beautiful in their life, because success can mean different things to different people, right? So, what is something that just stayed with you, or something that comes to you at the moment as a case study?
So one of the most special case studies is an absolutely wonderful young lady, and she came to work with me when she was a teenager. and she had been admitted for psychiatric help in hospital 3 times with um, suicidal thoughts, with a lot of things. And her mum is an amazing woman and coach herself, and she shared this story quite openly. But I'm not going to name names in this. And I came and I worked with her, and we worked together for a couple of years. And she never needed any medication. She never went back into hospital. She, not like a few years ago now, passed all her exams and is living, it's just living her life. Right? She has her normal ups and downs and bumps that we all have, but from literally going to a place where she didn't want to be here to going through and just creating and living her life and having all of the fun that comes with that and all of the drama that comes with that. Like that was just seeing her journey of growth was amazing. Seeing her journey of growth was amazing. Um, I I mean, I don't know what, because I've worked with lots of different people in lots of different areas. I've got different case studies for different things. I'm currently working with a coach who is so lovely, and she's been a coach for a long, long time, and never really found her voice, never really found her confidence, never really like stepped up and to be seen. And now currently like her business is just growing and she's just finding herself more and more and more, and she's just like owning everything. And it's lovely to see like the flowers just opening up. And I think that's one thing pretty much most people that I work with do. I see them as a flower. They're already, they've got the potential to bloom. We've all got the potential to bloom, but we stay hidden because we're not sure if it's going to be a bit windy for our petals to be flown off. And then when we actually see that it's safe, we come out in our full beauty is there to see for the world.
Wow, that's so beautiful. If you were to, because yes, as you mentioned, you may have different cases, different stories, situations, um, but they all come to you for your beautiful energy and presence and everything that you can do for them. So, what do you feel attracts or invites those people into your space? What is it about you that makes them feel like, okay, if I go to Julie, I'm just gonna be safe. I'm going to be okay. What is that thing?
I think they feel safe. I think
Mhm.
that I don't try and be anybody else. Right? I'm more than willing to be vulnerable, to be open, to be honest, to be transparent and say, do you know what? Like that's crap. I've been there and I know what it's like. And I'm happy to share like my journey, warts and all, because people don't want to work with somebody who one person's up here and they feel down there. Like we're all equals. Like
Mhm.
I might have been on this journey and I might be a couple of steps ahead, and I can show you how I got those steps ahead. But I know that they've got the wisdom to know their own path, and sometimes that just needs guided out. So I think people work with me because I've been around a long time, so they know I'm not really going to go anywhere. A lot of people work with me because they've been recommended from other people. A lot of people work with me because they like how I show up online, and I'm consistent because I'm just being me. So I'm not trying to be anybody else. So it just stays the same, warts and all. And because when they have a conversation with me, they know they're enough.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And if you were to like to everyone who's watching us, if they're thinking, okay, I'm gonna connect with Julie. And by the way, please check the description of this video because this is where you're going to find all the links on how to connect with Julie. And please do that because she creates amazing spaces and beautiful energy. And so to everyone who's watching us, Julie, if you were to share some of the techniques or tools or any kind of styles that you use in your coaching and guidance, what would that be?
So I come a lot from the three principles world and the being community, and that is like checking in with like, who do I want to be at this moment in time? How am I showing up? Am I showing up as the creator that I want to? Know that your thoughts and your feelings, you get tag teamed. If you have a thought, that you get chemicals in your body and you get a feeling with that. But that doesn't mean it's true. We get convinced all the time that because we feel something, it must be true. And yet, when we take a look at what's really going on, we can see that somebody else did that same thing and said that same thing, and we weren't bothered about it a week before. And if it was truth, we'd be bothered about it all the time. When we fluctuate with our moods and our tag team thoughts and feelings. So always look at the power of the pause. Give yourself a second before you react to anything. And that includes noticing the language that you're using to create yourself. If you're creating yourself as somebody who can't do something, your brain's going to think, oh, well, let's show her more evidence of why she can't. If you tell yourself you're learning and you're growing, you're going to create something, your brain's going to show you evidence of how you can. Brains are a meaning making machine, but they can't create our futures. But we speak our language into it. We speak our reality into it, into our language and with our words all the time.
Absolutely. And we can tell, we can feel the energy that comes through those words. And so when we choose to change something, like you said, you don't have to, it's a choice. You can choose to change things. Then a lot is shifting around us, within us, first of all, and then around us too. So with that, Julie, how would you say you incorporate your personal experiences into your coaching or practice if you do that?
I would say it's, again, honesty, openness and transparency. And it's a grounding. It's not something that, it's not a technique. It's a knowing that if I can be where I am now, coming from where I came from and having the experiences that I've had in my life, like, you don't need the tissues out, right? Let's have a smile about it. But I know you can as well. And if you take a look at some people who've had some horrible things happen to them, some people go on to change the world because of those horrible things. And some people spiral because of those horrible things. And the thing happened, but you can go one way or the other. And if you're currently going in the way that with unhelpful thinking and feeling, then you can, there is somebody that's a way to come out and not necessarily even change the world, but change your world. And because I've got the lived experience of that comes through in, like, everybody that I'm having a conversation with, because I can see the health and the flower waiting to bloom in everybody that I'm having a conversation with, even if they can't currently see it in themselves.
Mm. And that comes with a lot of practice and experience, as you have all of this experience. And what you said, that you can, it's not necessarily about the desire or the idea of changing the entire world. You can change your own world. And imagine if every single person would want to do that. I, what kind of energy we would experience. But it's not about that. We learn from each other and we learn from our own experiences. And that's why we then look for the spaces, for the groups, for the energy that really aligns with who we are. And so if anyone feels like, I just want to join Julie's space, what will they find once they're there?
Humor, very important to me. Honesty, they'll have a place where all of them is welcome, and they'll have a place where, if I'm going to be really honest, if they want to come and just talk bad about themselves, there'll be a place where I'm going to call them out and say, notice how you're creating your reality and you're creating yourself right now. Is that really how you want to continue creating yourself? Because you're thinking that, you're feeling that, and is it a great place to feel? So they're going to get honesty, transparency, called out, humor, understanding, safety, and sometimes a bit of a bum kicking as well, right? Because different people respond to different ways of interacting with people. Like, if you're really, really nice with me, I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, like, give me some straight talking, right? Because I can take the straight talking and I appreciate that. And I probably wouldn't have been in the space for that many years ago. So
Yeah.
it's knowing where people are in their journey and what's the best way to help them open up and bloom. And because I've got a lot of experience, because I'm quite old, I've been around a long time, I've got lots of different ways and tools to do that. And that's why currently now I'm helping people grow their businesses so they can go and help more people do the same thing.
Mm.
So those ripples, because everything we do has ripples. This video will have ripples. Like everything you're doing, I love everything that you're doing.
Oh,
You know what, we are on such, even though we're so different, it's like we're just connected so much every conversation we have, and
true.
always ripples.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, mentioned just a bit earlier, we always learn from each other. Absolutely. Every single time we have a conversation, a situation, anything with somebody or something, we are learning. So I'm super grateful that we had also the opportunity to record this video because I'm sure it will help those who are watching us. And if you've watched this far, please don't forget to like and subscribe, like this video, subscribe to this channel and connect with Julie. And Julie, as we're wrapping up this episode, what advice would you give to somebody who maybe is either at the beginning of their journey or they find themselves at a place where like, okay, I don't know where to go from here. Like they're on this journey of self-discovery. What advice would you give them?
Do your due diligence. There are a lot of people who are really good people who are in the world, the space to try and help people. And you're not going to be right for everybody, and they're not always going to be right for you. So follow people, connect with people. Don't rush into thinking somebody's going to fix you because you're not broken, right? Just know that by even taking the steps in starting to look, you're starting to change. If you're moving out of a land of limitation and into the world of possibilities for yourself. But don't rush in. A lot of the times people will think, "Oh, this person can save me." And if you're going in to be saved, you can never be saved because you don't need it. If you're going in with, I really like how this person is, I'd love to have some conversations and see what comes up. Come in with a curious mindset. That's what I'm going to say to start off with.
Wow. This is a really good message. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you to everyone who's watching us. And yeah, don't forget to connect with Julie because she's amazing. Thank you, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.